I was sleepless, locked in my room, writing all this up in the ledger of those days, living up to me name, scribbling, trying to make sense of it all and trying hard to find a way out. I was scribbling late into the ledger, listening with half a mind to the creaking bed through the wall, Beetle making love to Brid, to the sleeping Brid. Despite the arguments, I knew this had happened, knowing the score. And then a soft knock on my bedroom door. I opened it a crack, and there was Brid, anyway, standing there, and the noises of love still coming from the next room. Scribble? I'm working. Beatles with Mandy. Sounds like it, I said. I was trying my best to be uncaring. It's just that the shadows in her eyes made me melt. Can I come in? I let her walk past me into the room. She dropped onto the bed and then started to curl up like a flower's petals when the sun had gone. I went back to my table to carry on with the writing. Brid was breathing sweetly now, lost in sleep. I was putting it all down in words, a small desk lamp hiding me in the shadow, the glow of my ledger burning softly as I banked up the words, the stories. What are you writing, Scrib? I thought she was asleep, and when I looked at her she was comatose and happy, eyes shut, curled up in her own shape. I couldn't see her lips move, and then I realised Brid was dream talking, putting thoughts into my mind, which is the gift of the shadows. Shadows are thought readers. They're born with the powers of telepathy, and their mind can bypass the vocal cords, putting words into your brain and stealing the secrets that you thought were yours alone. Shadow cops are the same, but mixed with robo rather than flesh, so they're not as strong. They can't go deep down into the soul. Still pretty scary, though, especially when you're out on a spree. The human shadow works best when asleep, so that's how you find them, usually, dreaming their dreams of knowledge. I was just wondering, Bridget thought, you're always writing. What's it all about? Everything. I said it out loud. You don't have to talk. Just think. What do you mean, everything? Everything that happens. The stash riders. The Beatle called us this, and it stuck. He was making life into a kind of adventure, I guess, just like a kid. But what's so wrong with that? It's our story, Brid. That's nice. And then a deep silence. I was back to writing, but nothing came out, nothing good. So I stopped, took a cigarette, a napalm filter, and watched the smoke drift for a while, and petals falling from the clock, stuff like that. All quiet now, from the next room. Brid's voice coming into my mind again. Is it all right if I sleep here, Scrib? You got a bed of your own. Not tonight, Scrib. Not tonight. I took another few hard drags while forming the words in my mind. That's all right, Scrib. It's a pleasure. Shit. Some real dirty thoughts about Brid had flickered across my mind. When the Shadow Girl was this deep, I had no secrets left. That's right, Scrib. No secrets. Give me a chance, Brid. Out loud, not thinking. It just comes in pictures and shapes. I'd rather just talk, I said. Sure. You don't mind me sleeping here? Why should I? She looked real beautiful in sleep. And the world was waiting for me to climb right on in there, curling up, losing myself in all that drifting smoke. Thank you, she thought. Like I said, no secrets. I just wanted to thank you, I told her sleeping face, for taking the rap for me. You know, with the Beetle and the skull shit. We all jerk out sometimes. You took the blame, Brid. I guess I like you. More than Beetle. Don't ask. You'll get hurt. I saw Desdemona in there in the Vurt, I said. I guessed that. She was in such pain. I couldn't stop pulling out, but I couldn't admit it, not to the bee. You like that man too much, Scribble. So do you. You're thinking about her again. She meant Desdemona. Bridget's words, floating into me mind like a mist over the pale shape of Desdemona. Can't you forget her, Scrib? We've got to find her, Brid. We will, Scribble. You want to sleep next to me? It wasn't a question, because she knew the answer anyway. And the mist closing it all up in drifts of blue, and me falling through it into the land of Bridget, which is called the land of shadows, the land of sleep. I woke up early, my arms round the shadow girl, an innocent gesture for an innocent night. The ledger was still glowing, throwing a blue shade over our shapes. I turned it off and went into the living room. The thing from outer space was asleep on the rug. "How you doing, big thing?" "Jaji, jaja, jaji, ja." Looking for a way home. Something like that, I guess. I watched him for a while, imagining the dreams he was on, and then walked into the kitchen for breakfast. The house was mine at this hour, and I made good use of it, spreading apple jam on toast, watching the day begin. I ate the sweet stuff at the scarred table, all the time keeping a close watch on the door to Beetle's room. They were making noises again, and I couldn't stop my mind wandering right on in there, seeing all that pleasure being given and taken, all those jars of boudoir vase being used, protector, lubricator, contraceptive, inflamer, all in the same jar. The noises were getting to me. It brought back Desdemona, her beautiful body all over mine, her hands and her lips, the dragon tattoo, her face coming close to mine, the feel of her skin, the shine in her eyes. But that was just a memory, and memory was not enough. I wanted her back, for real, in my arms. I looked over at the thing again. Something bad was coming into my mind. I got up out of the chair and I walked over to his sleeping form. Boy, that thing was ugly. I reached down to tickle his stomach. He sighed contentedly from the depths of Vurt sleep. There was a loose flap of skin, still not yet fully reformed from the battles of skull shit. It broke off easily in my fingers. The thing didn't even stir. I brought the greasy lump up to my lips. Eating Vurt flesh was the direct route to the theatre. It was a potent cocktail of meat and dreams, highly dangerous, highly desirable. The Game Cat had talked about it once in a magazine. I was looking down at more than a king's ransom of live drugs, street value. We could sell the thing and get ourselves right out of here somewhere good. All except for Desdemona. Without the thing, she was lost forever. But maybe this would lead back to her. Maybe I could take some flesh, just a little bit, see where it led. I licked at the Vurt flesh, and then took a small bite. I'm being smothered by flesh. I can't breathe anymore. There's no space in the world, only flesh. It has a sweet aroma as it presses up against my face. I can't do anything. I can't even struggle. The flesh is that powerful. My world is clogged. I know that smell from somewhere. I'm drowning in the flesh. These are my last seconds alive. The sweet stench is overpowering me. I know that smell. I've smelt it all my life. This is my life. No. Before then. I've smelt that stench before now in some other... Christ. I'm getting the haunting. The flesh enveloping me. All of me openings filled with the meat and being killed by Vurt flesh. Vurt. I'm in a Vurt. Which one? Let me do a jerk out. The flesh of the thing wrapping me in fat. I've got no breath left. These are my last seconds. The thing. Christ. Hope it's not a yellow. Jerk out. I'm lying across the thing. Right in front of the fire. The thing's got his tentacles round me, squeezing. I can hardly breathe. Let me tell you, hardly is enough. At least it's stale, unhealthy stash rider pad air that I'm breathing. That's enough. That is beautiful. I slide out of the thing's sleepy embraces, falling onto the pad floor. The carpet is most welcome, a real haven of bliss. Just then the telephone rang. It sounded harsh and ill against the murmurings of love, and I could tell it had bad news to give because the phone had been cut off, unpaid some 6 months ago. No way could it be ringing. I jumped up from the floor and I reached it on what seemed like the last ring. Scribble. The voice. Is that you, Desdemona? Scribble. Help me. Oh, Jesus. Desdemona. Help me, Scribble. Where are you? Find me. It hurts. The razor. Where are you, Des? Find a door. A curious house. What? Find a door. Get to me, Scribble. Get to me. Silence. Oh, Desdemona. Sister. Oh, sister. Where are you going? I had my ear pressed up hard against the phone, but there was nothing. Nothing there. Just a bad buzz on the line. And the silence in the room. And the petals falling. Falling from the face of the clock, making a carpet of flowers where I would lay myself down, forgetting all me troubles. All me troubles. It has been calculated by the calculators that one night can hold 6 dreams only. There is a colour for each. Blue is the colour of safe desires, legal dreaming. Black is the colour of bootleg vert, feathers of tenderness and pain, one sliver beyond the law. Pink is the colour of pornovurts, doorways to bliss. Cream is the colour of a used-up feather, one that has been drained of dreams. Only blue, black, and pink feathers go cream. You only get one trip per journey. Silver is the colour of the operators, those who work the feathers, making them, filming them, doing the remixes, opening doors. They are the toolkit feathers. And the game cat has the collection worth dying for. Yellow is the colour of death, and should be avoided at all costs. They are not for the weak. Yellows have no jerk-out facilities. Be careful. Be very, very careful. If you die in a yellow dream, you die in real life. The only way out is to finish the game. Day 2. I was watching the world through tears. Mandy and the Beetle had emerged, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, from a damp bed, and were now taking late breakfast at the table. Mandy's cheeks were glowing like an ad. You know the kind of thing. Sex is good for you. Do it every day. This has been a government information message. Beetle was his usual self. Hair gelled, slicked back with Vaz. His Peter England shirt, hot pressed to the limit. Both of them looked fruity from the afterglow of sex, and I just couldn't take it. Couldn't take the fresh love. The Beetle was cleaning his gun at the table, smearing Vaz into the chambers. I guess he was doing it to impress the new girl. It worked. Is that real, B? Neat. Oh, like, wow. The Beetle's gun was a joke, really. He'd bought it off some old acquaintance, a real bargain, he'd said. And that What with the city turning the way it was, you could never be too careful. Of course, he'd never fired it. Never had need to. And after 2 weeks of carrying it everywhere, he'd slipped it into some hideaway, and that was that. Now it was out again, getting the full Vaz treatment, all for the sake of some tough new street girl. I wouldn't mind, but Mandy was my discovery. I'd found her, hanging around the Vurt stalls in the underground market. Eyes full of buzz and spark as she stroked the feathers, trying some on, just to the lips, falling under spells of violence and pain. And me, falling under the spell of her. So I'd asked her to join, become a stash rider. She made fun of the name, but still, I could see the need in her eyes. Maybe I was just trying to replace Des the easy way. Maybe we all get a little desperate at times. Maybe there are no easy ways. You two have a good night. I don't know why I said it just came out. They looked at each other. They smiled at each other. You think Bridget's going to like that? I asked, knowing full well that Brid would take a nail file to Mandy's eyes. God knows what she'd do to Beetle. Maybe she'd pour all her smoke into his head, working his brain up into a frenzy. They called it a shadow fuck. It was like doing skull shit with the lights on. The Beetle shrugged. Bridget'll have to live with it. Where is the shadow girl, anyway? Mandy made the word shadow sound like some kind of bad disease. She slept in my room. Nice one, Stephen. It's not like that, Bea. Stephen? Is that Scribble's real name? Ah, how cute. Bea smiled. That's the way it is with Stevie, baby, Mandy. It's never like that, not with women. Piss off, Bea, and the name's Scribble. Maybe we should sell some bits off the thing, the Beetle said. No way, Beetle, no fucking way. Just bits off him. The stash rider wallet is empty. I can't wait till the next drip feed. Come on, Scribble, just an arm, or a leg, a chunk off that fat stomach. We need him, all of him. You know why, Bea. Desdemona, she... Big thing'll grow him back anyway, what's the loss? I'm getting desperate, Bea. I think Des is reaching out. She's alive, I know it. A warm light came into the Beetle's eyes. Sure thing, Scrib, she's alive. We'll find her, right, Mandy? You bet. They were just being good to me. I could live with that. Should we go and see Tristan? Would that suit you, Scribble? Tristan? An old friend of mine. He's a spot-on guy. Sold me this gun. Knows all the stuff I've forgotten and then some. He'll have English voodoo, I said. Oh, he doesn't do vert anymore. He might know where to find some. He might know about Icarus Wing. I was getting some kind of hope back. At least we were moving. I just wanted to keep moving, keep the faith going. We could try. The Beetle smiled. That old Beetle smile. I was falling for him again. The Beetle was in command, and the world was looking rosier. Something always has to spoil the day. That bad something was somebody knocking at the door. Not the bell, ringing from far away from the ground floor. No, this was a close-up attack. The flat was rigged up to the in-house system, and only bona fide inhabitants could find a way past the door cam. Bypassing that system was a beauty, and only a cop could have managed it. A way-up cop. Beetle activated into jam mode, moving like a land speed record. First thing he did was slip the gun into his pocket, then turn to us. Get that fucker out of here. That fucker was the thing from outer space. It was still deep in feather dreams next to the fire. Mandy and I took each end of him like veterans and bundled him into the store cupboard. I got back to hear the Beetle talking to some presents through a 1-inch gap in the door. Certainly, officer. No problem. Please, come in. Feel free. A real-life cop walked into the living room. Not the shadow kind. This cop was flesh and blood, a collector's item. She had a curly perm. Yeah, that collectible. What's happening? She asked. There was a moment of silence. Over by the door stood the she-cop's partner, some mealy-mouthed flesh cop from hell. The Beetle shrugged. Nothing much. The two cops were wearing dangerous smiles. The boss spoke. Nice pad. I'd like to look around. Any time. You got a warrant? Do I need one, Mr. Beetle? And I have this thing about privacy. We have reason to believe that you are harbouring an alien presence. A what? A vert being. A live drug. Really? You know that's totally illicit. Is it? Beetle was playing it cool. The cop woman's eyes were all over the unused blues and played out creams that littered the floor. Beetle smiled. Nothing but the best. Strictly legal. She-cop nodded. Of course. Nothing but. She was looking all around the room searching for clues. I'm just warning you. Don't go upsetting the neighbours. There you go. Nosy bitch from next floor down. Dumbo partner finally spoke. Let's split, Murdoch. Just a bunch of wasted kids. Murdoch didn't look back at him. She just jabbed a long finger at Beetle like a weapon. I'm coming back for you. You got that? I got it. The door went shook behind him, closing with a comfort fix. Beetle was out of the cool in an instant. He popped 2 jammers and went straight for me and Mandy. What's this about a neighbour shit? His face was full up of anger. One long streak of hair had escaped the grip of Vaz and was swinging around against his powdered face like a black plant creeper. It was my fault, Mandy said. We got caught on the landing carrying the thing, I added. The beetle hit me, across the face, felt like a hammer. The real kind, mind, hardened steel with a hard wood handle. I took my hand away from my nose and there was blood on the fingers and the palm. That guy is going to suffer one day. And he would, but not at my hand. We were in jam mode, screaming down the back roads, all rattling round in the van, me, the thing, Brid and Mandy. Beetle at the wheel, jammed up to the nines. The scenes of South Manchester sped past the black windows like a bad foreign movie. The Beetle had popped so many jammers, fear was just a bad memory. The man was on a demon trip and he was taking us with him. Brid was wide awake for once. It had been my job to wake her, which was like waking up a stone, some dead lump of inanimate matter. Man, she'd screamed at me. And then, whilst the half-dead world came rushing back, she'd called for Beetle's blood, promising slow tortures. I'd had to slap her. She slapped me back, which hurt. Which hurt the both of us. Then I'd half-kicked her down the stairs into the van, and then back for the thing from outer space. It was Mandy and I, of course, left with the task of carrying the thing. This time we covered him in a blanket, and the journey down the stairs went like a dream, until Twinkle showed up. Is that you, Mr. Scribble? Oh, get lost, kid. Mr. Scribble, that's not fair. Twinkle was a blue-eyed, sweet kid of 10, with a patchwork bob of hair, as blonde as the day was doomed. I loved her dearly, except that she was a total pain, and a bit of a nutflake. What's under the blanket, Mr. Scribble? It's that alien from space, isn't it? Twinkle lived on the first floor, the child of a 3-parent family, man, woman, hermaphrodite. It's just Bridget under here, we can't wake her up. No way, I saw you kicking Brid down just before. You got an illegal alien. I wouldn't mind an alien of my own. Can I be in your gang? Can I, Mr. Scribble? Can I be a junior stash rider? She was always after this. No, you bloody can't. Now get out of here. Twinkle looked at me for a couple of seconds, and then took a slow, toe-scuffing walk back down the corridor towards the door of her flat. First off, we checked out the vert you want for signs of Seb. The manager, a paper-thin wisp of a girl, told us that Sebastian hadn't shown up for work that morning, and that, as of now, he was off the payroll anyway, for bringing the cops down on him. And that Vurt You Want was a peace-loving company, and that kind of employee just didn't fit in with their current business vision. She gave us his address from the employee file, and we drove the van out of there, West Didsbury, only to find that Seb wasn't in, and that he hadn't been home since last night. Now we were heading down the Princess Road towards Bottletown and Tristan, away from the bad dream of Murdoch and the cops. It wasn't that bad. Maybe. Not to my mind. Just a dumb cop out on a limb, looking for easy pickings. Beetle thought otherwise. That Murdoch bitch will be back, no kidding. She's got that look, that hunger. Believe me. Then he turned to the new girl. You ever been down a bottle, Mandy? You'll love it. It's real scary. Beetle, you're a twat, Bridget announced. I heard you last night. Oh, and here's me trying to keep it quiet. It would have been worse otherwise. Brid threw Mandy a bullet stare. I know what you're thinking. Mandy hid her face behind the latest copy of Game Cat. She was on some kind of crash course in home study, no doubt trying to get within loving distance of Beetle. I'm looking at you, said Brid, her dark eyes brooding on Mandy. Mandy looked nervous just for a moment. Her eyes flicked over to the Beetle and back to Brid. Brid had her best smoky stare on. Mandy braved it. It's good you know, then. Beetle feels the same. Beetle said nothing. New girl had everything to learn about the man. Maybe now you leave us alone. A groove of pain appeared across Mandy's brow. That's how it started. Beads of sweat running down her face. Her mouth tightened. Beetle? Christ, Brid was doing the shadow fuck. Mandy was holding her hands to her head. Her face creased up with the pain. Beetle, what's she doing? Help me. I shouted, Brid, leave her alone. Did no good. Beetle didn't even look round to see the action. Maybe he knew just how far Bridget would go before deciding that the message was home. Maybe. Get the fuck off. Fucking shadow bitch. Bridget was smiling. You know what they say, new girl? Pure is poor. Mandy went for her, claws out, tripping over the thing, and I was just watching the mess, thinking, why is life like this? Why the fuck is life like this? Beetle poured the van into Moss Lane East. Brid and Mandy rolled off the thing and into a corner clinch. I couldn't say a thing, but the Beetle was on hand. Quit the fucking. We're here. Indeed we were. Beetle swung the van into a parking space marked no go. The van jolted to a vicious halt, sending Mandy and Brid back into the embrace of the thing. The 6 tentacles wrapped themselves round Bridget. It was a loving embrace. Mandy scrambled away from the mess, breathing hard. Fuck that! Fuck it! Fuck it! I just don't need that, okay? The Beetle turned back to look at the women. My bed is warm and wide, and life is short. Is that clear? Mandy spoke. Clear. Bridget said nothing. Her eyes were closing to the pain. She was moving deeper into the thing's enveloping body, gathering comfort from the deep shadows there. Beetle twisted further round to look me sideways in the eye. Let's go, Scribble. You scared? No? You should be. Pures don't go down a bottle. Let's go. No options. Know what I mean, Scrib? Sure. Sometimes you just get no options. Even when you're as pure as the rain and your life is just a wet kiss on the glass. But we can't take the thing, B. It's too dangerous. We need him too much. One of us will have to stay. That's right, Scrib. That's why you're staying here. Beetle? No options. It's my trip, B. I know what we're after. And I know this place. Your battle's to come, Scrib. Mandy opened the back doors. Let's do it, B. Beetle turned back to Bridget. She was lying in the arms of the alien. You got anything to say to me, Brid? His voice had some kind of feeling in it. Tenderness. Just a trace. Bridget lifting her head slightly from the arms of the thing. It's your game, Beetle. And then I got it. She wasn't talking, she was thinking. I'd picked up the path between them. The Beetle answered, That's right. My game. Beetle got out of the van and went round to the back doors, where Mandy was waiting for him. He leaned into the van to talk to me. You look after things this side. I'm doing this for you, Scribble. Remember. I remember. And for Desdemona. I remember. Exchange mechanisms. Sometimes we lose precious things. Friends and colleagues, fellow travellers in the Vurt. Sometimes we lose them. Even lovers we sometimes lose. And get back things in exchange. Aliens, objects, snakes, and sometimes even death. Things we don't want, This is part of the deal. Part of the game deal. All things in all worlds must be kept in balance. Kitlings often ask, who decides on the swappings? Now then, some say it's all accidental, that some poor vert thing finds himself too close to a door at too crucial a time, just when something real is being lost. Whoosh! Swap time. Others say some kind of overseer is working the mechanisms of exchange, deciding the fate of innocence. The cat can only tease at this, because of the big secrets involved, and because of the levels between you, the listener, and me, the game cat. Hey, listen, I've struggled to get where I am today. Why should I give you the easy route? Get working, Kitlings. Reach up higher. Work the vert. Just remember Hobart's rule. R equals V, plus or minus H, where H is Hobart's constant. In the common tongue, any given worth of reality can only be swapped for the equivalent worth of virtuality, plus or minus 0.267125 of the original worth. Yes, my Kitlings, it's not about weight or volume or surface area, it's about worth. How much the lost ones count in the grand scheme of things. You can only swap back those that add up to something within Hobart's constant. We have prostrated ourselves at the feet of Goddess Vurt, and we must accept the sacrifice. You'll want them back, of course, your lost and lonely ones. You'll cry out for them all through the dark and empty nights. Swap back can be made, but the way is full of knives, glued up doors, pathways of glass. Only the strong can make it happen. Listen up. Be careful. Be very, very careful. You have been warned. This comes from the heart.